Hello, this is Beanoit and this is Back, and together we are Back and Bean, and he's flexing his muscles for some unknown reason. However, you're here today for a very specific reason.
Yes.
First of all, before we go anywhere, would you like to explain what you've been up to?
Basically I had just standard 360 controller, 2006 model, and it was my first ever controller, and you know what? I went on eBay and checked how cheap and how efficiently you can actually modify your controller without putting LEDs and all that crazy stuff on it. Ends up it's quite cheap and quite efficient if you've got the time to do it, obviously. So it started off with a basic shell of white. Was a two.
So that's your original wireless
And
controller.
the original is, this is the original, it's like the matte finish. It's quite nice, it's all well worn and it's sort of yellow as it goes, basic white. And it's now been converted into something that's translucent and beautiful with real bullet casings, the ABXY buttons, new joysticks, new D-pad, new bumpers and new triggers. From there,
yeah, from that point you started sending me pictures of stuff that you were...
I was doing it step by step,
yeah,
sort of idea.
and gradually getting the picture of it, and then when you actually feel the final thing and how the quality in the case of this is pretty good as well.
Yep.
So basically you went from having a very old, nearly a decade old wireless Xbox 360 controller
to having a refurbished and practically new. It's not completely new, but it is.
You're still using all the main parts from the controller, obviously, and just replacing like the buttons, the analog sticks, the D-pad, all the other panels and the casing. So just in terms of money, how much did that cost you?
Less than £15.
That's crazy, considering the fact that you also have... Tell me the little story about these ABXY buttons.
So for the ABXY buttons, they're real bullet casings, but they're actually picked up from beaches in Vietnam, refurbished in Taiwan and sent out for pretty much less than £4.
So it's basically spent bullets.
The actual spent bullets, these are actually there. They've got the pinholes from where the hammers hit the back of the bullet.
As it was firing.
As it's fired, yep. But the thing is, they're the most expensive thing on this whole thing. So
that's crazy. I mean, like, the analog sticks feel
they've
new. The
got
D-pad
a
is
nice
slight.
grip to them as well.
You'll know as much as I do how annoying it is to play any fighting games with that D-pad.
Yeah.
That is a major improvement.
Major improvement.
And all you've done is replace the plastics, not the actual...
Replace the full surrounds. I've actually done the full trigger systems even on yours, so I've replaced the springs, replaced the main triggers, and really overall, like, the whole thing for what you can do yourself, it's a full DIY project. It's literally like, it's just mind blowing to think that you can get that off your own accord.
Okay, so how about we get down to business and see if you can do the same for me.
Indeed.
Cool.
So we're now at the building stage, and basically what we're going to do is take away this sacrilege piece of contraption.
Yeah.
Which James initially done. So
well, obviously, as you can tell, you've already started putting in to test the new analog sticks and the D-pad and the shoulder buttons and the bottom panel. But as you can see, you don't usually get Xbox 360 controllers in that colour, and it looks fairly good. Like the finish on that looks...
The finish, I mean, what I ended up doing was actually putting in metallic green D-pad, base and trigger and bumpers.
But in terms of the job I've done, is
it actually matches well with the colour. I mean, but what you can actually see is like the scrapings underneath, like where your nails digging.
Yeah.
But all these parts are literally just like that. I mean, even the joysticks have already been replaced. So already we're already halfway there.
Aye.
To do this beast for the green.
Oh, that's going to look epic.
So it's a much different style, which will obviously, but what we'll actually see, and you'll notice it once it's finished, is the two-tone in green.
After a long montage full of random sped up footage, no doubt.
And taken apart 3 times, but you don't get to see that footage.
Yeah, because that's swiftly got deleted. So yeah, you pretty much went through most of what's going into the controller, but we've went from my shoddy spray,
Turquoise, painted red and sprayed.
yeah, we went from that to final product, which now has the original planned idea of
the chrome button
in the middle. But whilst we're talking about that, we'll show you some little panning shots of the controller.
Of all the controller and everything else.
So you'll be able to see the details, because even though I have similar button, bullet type face buttons on here, they're manufactured to be that way.
They're made out of aluminium, they're not real bullets, but they're actually really nice and crisp.
Yours has like an odd feel off them.
They're aluminium recasted and then sort of etched in, embossed.
I mean, they still feel cold, they still feel like bullets, but you feel that and you know that's a bullet.
You know that's a bullet, because that's real brass.
Yeah.
It's on there.
That's like someone has fired those from a gun.
Aye. Still from that though, it's a good replica. I mean, they're actually only half the price of the brass ones. The centre button as well matches really well. I was going to change the centre button in mind, but it's actually a 12 gauge shotgun and it's too big. That one actually fits perfectly. How do you find the D-pad compared to what it was?
It was a mess before, because this was one of the...
It was.
Again, it's one of the original wireless controllers, the same as yourself. But no, that's completely usable now, and it's absolutely brand new and snazzy looking.
Brand new start and back buttons as well, just to put it in.
How much did that cost you, and why are you doing this for me?
I wanted to sort of, once I was able to do mine and knew sort of the ins and outs of building one, I thought, you know what, for the price that you can do it for, you may as well do it for someone else. It doesn't have to be for a business, it can do it purely for a good gesture, and you know what, that is a lot better from the original. Just even aesthetically, if you're saying this didn't even work, aesthetically this looks better than what the original still looked like.
Anyway,
But you didn't use that one really as much, did you? You did use the...
I would say it was in regular use, but it wasn't my favourite controller. I've got that Afterglow one at the moment, which
the Afterglow one's fantastic.
Aye.
Lights us up now. Anyway, so yeah, overall, like this one only cost less than £10, so that one cost less than 15 because of the brass casings. That's what you can achieve with under £10. We are actually probably going to revisit this for a later date and maybe change James's, maybe change mine. I'm going to try and get a hold of a soldering kit. So if I ever get that video, then James will put an annotation up above my head, but if not, we will be doing another one for James's, because we're going to get a new case for his legally, but anyway, through time. Just because this is a cheaper one, but still.
I'm quite interested in getting into actually fixing old retro controllers, because I have quite a few like N64 controllers with dodgy analog sticks, and it's quite easy just to buy the replacement analog sticks and pop them in.
The other part that older controllers have that was a problem was just basic duct. There was so much extra gap.
And to be fair, those are old enough to have seen, you know,
mine
they've seen some shit.
Edges clean, but my god, when I looked into it, it was manky. James actually done this pretty well because it was already open before. So.
Aye, oh no, I was see, even though I fucked up the paint job, I made sure it was all cleaned and obviously like ready to get painted. And as you can see, I've already used the like testing in conspicuous areas. The front came out a lot better than the back.
But the front does, it's got that matte finish to it initially as well.
Basically it was just a case of cleaning them all out, letting them dry, sat them there and right out the back door. And then
you never know, you might revisit repainting that, you know, for a time, you never know.
Well, not really, because unless I've managed to get that shot off.
That paint's done, I'll do that, I'll go.
Aye, either that or I can reprime it. Reprime is not a problem. But yeah, this is definitely something that we're going to be looking at in the future, but for now, I have this, and he has his.
That
excellent.
Then we can play together with custom things. You like to touch my la la la.
that's just no. That's it. Bye.
No.